Hi, welcome to Radio Tiny House. I'm Barry Smith.
And I'm Beth.
This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, we're off a couple of weeks.
We're off a couple of weeks. We've had some, not issues with the house, which is nice, but our daughter's in the hospital.
Yes.
She doesn't have COVID, but she's got some other weird things going on that a 35-year-old shouldn't be having going on. So we've had the kids.
We've had the kids, and they're used to living on our property with us, so it's really easy for them to just go stay with Happy Nani.
Right.
But it's really hard on Happy Nani because it's a lot of work.
Sometimes it is. It's a lot of refereeing, a lot of getting up and going to school and
right.
driving
and today,
them and stuff like that.
I've been instructed that our grandson needs shoes, so he's asked me to meet him at the bus where he gets off at the bus at the end of the driveway and take him to go get shoes. So we'll do that. And then, of course, I also work a freelance job right now. And so that's from 20 hours a week, which is what I always hope it will be. I'm working 40 or at least every week right now.
We both do kind of, mine's more gig work than freelance work.
Right.
But, when we both decided we would do that, we both, Beth decided she was going to work about 20 hours a week, and it's now turned into about 120 hours a week.
Feels like it.
And
we're under the gun. It's time sensitive work, so I have to just do whatever I do, and it's
exactly. So
sometimes it gets to be more than I want.
But that's what you're good at.
I know I'm gifted in a scary sort of way.
Scary sort of way, right? But anyway, so the daughter that's in the hospital is the one that lives in Tiny House 1, Caroline. We did a whole thing on her, a whole thing meaning a podcast and video.
Actually, we'll put the card into it.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah.
Mom Reclaimed Oasis.
Yeah.
We'll put the card here in this video so you can refer to that if you'd like to see her house, Tiny House 1.
Right, and that was Tiny House 1. It was the first house we built here. Send some good thoughts her way. Pray if you pray. What's the stuff that the Native Americans do with the lavender and they burn it, or sage? They burn. What is that called?
Sage.
Smudging. Smudge. If you want to do that,
right.
Smudging is fun. So hopefully we'll have her out of the hospital today.
If not, we haven't heard anything, but we're hoping.
She says she's going to leave AMA, which is against medical advice. I don't think that's going to happen. She's not really that kind of person, but
no.
I know she's getting frustrated.
As are we.
Yes.
So of course we we'll help her as much as she needs until she gets all the way back up.
Of course we will.
Of course we will.
And that's what we do.
That's what we do. That's
because
what families
we
do.
love our kids and we love our grandkids, and that's what families. That's why we made this compound. So that's why we built that.
Right.
So that
we could help each other.
Take care of each other when we needed that additional help. So anyway, a little bit of tiny house news today.
And we're making more of our own soon.
We are soon making more of our own. Stay tuned for that, because I think you're going to like the news that comes out. I'm pretty sure they're going to like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. Anyway, the tiny house news today is that in Seattle, which seems to be a hotbed of tiny house development today, but specifically for homeless people.
Right. Actually, the state of Washington is not particularly tiny house friendly, but they have the city of Seattle has had to deal with housing of homeless. So that's kind of why they've trying to come to be on the forefront.
Right. And Seattle, when before we lived out there, I would have thought, why in the world would you, if you're homeless, would you go to Seattle? But
because it rains all the time.
It rains a lot, but it's fairly temperate most of the year, so it doesn't get really, really hot, and it doesn't get really, really cold. Although it can get really both. Rainy. It can get very hot and very cold out there. So the 9th tiny house village in Seattle is opening up. It's going to be in the University District. This one's called Rosie's Tiny House Village. And it's it's only for chronically homeless people. But their goal is to transition them to permanent housing, which when they go to shelters, they normally don't get transitioned into that. They can stay for a while, and then they're usually pushed back out on the street. But this program, they've got a couple of other villages where they have had really good outcomes of getting people into permanent housing. as opposed to just having to send them back out on the street.
So I think that's amazing, but here's the thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to work really hard to help create an environment where tiny houses are not only approved for homeless people, right? We're seeing things change. We're seeing Dallas and Atlanta and San Francisco.
San Diego.
And I think San Diego, too. They're realizing they've got to do something about the housing crisis. And, of course, COVID has exacerbated it?
Yes, exacerbated.
Significantly. But the other great, and, well, of course, the state of Georgia that we live in has adopted Appendix Q, which goes down to 300 square feet, I think, or 350. Right. And then there are actually even smaller. Like you can do, but in Georgia, you can't live in a tiny house on wheels.
Right.
But you can live on a tiny house on foundation. But there are a lot of other states that are adapting that. Massachusetts just made a big thing where the governor said, you have to take this everywhere.
Right.
Because they have such...
it was Maine, I believe.
No, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, no.
Somewhere in the Northeast.
Oh, New Hampshire, Maine, or Massachusetts. Oh, we'll look it up. We'll correct ourselves.
New England.
I thought it was, anyway.
I think it was Maine.
It's hard to keep track of all these states in my brain. I need to start bringing the list every time.
Yes.
I got a list for something else today.
We need to just, on one of the monitors that we have here, we just ought to keep the state list up and running all the time.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, Beth, it's not New Hampshire, it's Maine. We'll post, or we'll post the right one on the thing. I'll look it up. Anyway, but, the governor just said flat out, you have to do this because there's so much need. And we're seeing that more and more, but, then there's the crush right now. So people are dispersing. People are dispersing from cities. I've read information about, California lost more people than it gained the first time ever. But I think that'll also change as people decide that, things change too. I mean, we just don't know, but we are seeing... Because of internet, you guys have heard us talk about our internet challenges.
Oops.
Finally, the internet's getting better in other places. We're getting Starlink.
Right.
We're so excited.
Soon, I hope.
Soon. I keep praying for Elon Musk to come through with the Starlink. Because we don't have any download problems, but we have uploading problems. And so when we've tried to do YouTube videos where we're uploading and streaming, and it just does not work. So that was an easier way to do it, but it doesn't work. So we're having to do it a different way. Anyway, but I think that's dispersing people, and people are going, hey, I don't have to live in this city. Now, we still want things.
Right.
We want Starbucks, and we want
movie theaters and opportunities to go out.
Right. So, but we are seeing a resurgence back into small towns that can offer that small town feel with some amenities.
Right.
Right. We're going to talk about one of those today.
We are. And I think that it's the point you bring up is very important about people leaving the cities. I mean, they're not just leaving Los Angeles and San Francisco and places like that, big New York. They're leaving with a purpose, and a lot of people are leaving with the purpose of living a more rural lifestyle. It's not just that they're moving from New York to Atlanta, because that does happen. But there's a lot of people that have just said, you know what, I can work from home. My company doesn't care if I work from home.
I don't have all of this overhead.
I don't have to have the overhead. I don't have to live within commuting distance to an office.
I'm not doing it anymore.
I'm buying a farm.
I'm not buying a farm. And, they did some survey 5 years ago maybe or something, that if you were going to pick, what would you like to buy? Like a beach house, farm was like one of the top. Yeah, well,
Is that
that's
like
the
an
extra
Opry
check
house?
marks. No, that's the extra check marks. Anyway, a lot of people wanted to buy farms.
Yeah, a lot of people want to buy farms.
We always wanted to be. We're hobby farmers, although I hate taking care of the farm animals, so I don't know what that makes me. But anyway,
a reluctant hobby farmer.
I'm a reluctant farmer.
Well, after watching, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a farmer.
A gentleman farmer.
A gentleman farmer. I wanted to have tractors and combines and do all that kind of stuff and just grow stuff. But I think after watching Clarkson's Farm, about Jeremy Clarkson, who was on the British show Top Gear, after watching that, I don't think I want to be a gentleman farmer anymore.
No.
I want to be a gentleman goat herder.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jeremy Clarkson's very famous in Britain, and if you watch Top Gear, he's an amazing, he's this crazy person.
He's crazy.
But he's about 60, and his Top Gear got canceled. He got himself in trouble a little bit, and so then
the show went on, but he wasn't
away. Right. But of course he has plenty of wealth, and he has 1,000 acres in England. I don't even know how many people own 1,000 acres in England.
It's a beautiful
place. But he had a farm manager, and he never had to deal with it. And when his farm manager quit, he decided he'd take over in between all this stuff. Right. And it's quite funny. And if you haven't caught it, it's called
Clarkson's Farm on Amazon Prime. Amazon Video.
Right.
I just looked that up. It's one season so far, and they're getting ready to release a second season.
It's touching. It's horrible.
It's hilarious.
It's I don't know, and you're just like, how can farmers even make money? Because he was struggling, and he's got all the wealth that he needs to be a farmer.
Over the course of a year, he made what, 144 pounds?
144 pounds, and he worked every
day.
Single day.
Anyway, that's our review of Clarkson's Farm.
Right, we didn't mean to get in that way, but that's
okay. If you like sheep, you should watch the show.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. He likes sheep, calls them bad names, but he does like them. He does.
Yeah, we should say that there is a language alert on there, so don't watch it with your
F-bombs, that's not the show to watch.
First and second graders.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about what we were talking about today.
So, okay, well, are we done talking about farming and
Jeremy Clarkson?
And moving to the country?
Yeah.
Well, this what we're going to talk about here. Country. This came to light, I guess. As we get flyers in the mail frequently from several different groups that do this.
And Facebook, since I have tiny houses, shed homes, and I search that all the time, I am a magnet for any Facebook ad that's going to come to anyone on things like that.
Even weird things about that.
Yeah, I get all kinds of stuff.
But this is kind of in line with what we're getting ready to release, because what we're getting ready to release is something that could be utilized or lived in at this particular place.
So any of you that have been listening, you know we live in a Tuff Shed, we call it a tiny house, but it's a Tuff Shed TR 1600, and it's 764 square feet. And Barry has put a picture of it behind us now.
I have.
He's like, we're playing with the podcast studio, so now it's that. That's a picture. So if you've seen that picture, because it's gone viral to about 3.5 million to 4 million shares.
That's the painting picture from that app. It's kind of cool.
He played with it. But anyway, so our house has gone viral with several bloggers picking it up, several YouTubers picking it up. We're like, wait, that's our house. And of course, they never gave anybody permission to use our house. But
there it was.
It's fine. Anyway, Tuff Shed discontinued the TR 1600.
Right.
Many people are frustrated about that, including us. But we also know that there are some things that we would have changed if we... after living in it for 3 years, we know that there are some things that we would have changed. So I've talked to a builder, a manufacturer here, and he is correcting the things that I wish that we had done differently,
right,
and starting to produce a product to replace that TR 1600. And we hope that within 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be filming that, and we will share that with our YouTube podcasters,
right,
and our of course, your audio, you're not going to see our film, so you might want to pick it up on YouTube if we're
if you're just listening to the podcast, then please visit our YouTube channel, which is also the same name, Radio Tiny House.
Right. So anyways, so now near us, in a nearby town, up in the North Georgia mountain, we have a developer that is developing a swath of land.
Swath?
Swath.
A swath?
Off of...
not a parcel, a swath.
Right. Not far from a lake. And the nice thing, and I saw it, and I started looking at it, and the nice thing is you can build as small, like a lot of these developments, you have to build a certain thing, right?
Right. You have to build 2,500 square feet, and it has to be stuccoed or bricked or...
Exactly. Or it has to be log cabins, which is not what I want by any means. Anyway, so you can build as little as 500 square feet. Now, they are going to allow RVs. In the state of Georgia, you can only live in an RV for like 180 days, and then you have to do something else, right? So you can have it as a second home, but if you were smart, you could take your RV, park it, build your tiny home, if you want to do the work yourself or work
right.
with your contractor or whatever, on your lot. And you can have both a place to park your RV and a house. You can go between 500 and 1,200 square feet. So it's really a tiny home community in our world.
Yeah.
It's not like 100 square feet, but it's 500 to 1,200 square feet. And we think that's really advantageous for the folks who listen to our podcast, because that's what we're all looking for, right? The nice thing is they do financing. They have the infrastructure in place, except you have to put your own septic in. They have a pool and all the things that you'd want. Now, it is rural. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from Atlanta.
Right.
And about an hour and 20 minutes from Chattanooga. So it's kind of up in the mountains, but you can get to either airport pretty easily. But the hard thing for us is to find places that will allow that small footprint.
Right. Yeah. It's mostly places around us and I wouldn't call it a development. I would call it a
development.
Okay,
this
a development.
Is development done by a developer.
I would call it. I mean, a development's fine. That's what they're doing. You have to meet certain requirements, and so it's nice to have them say you still have to meet certain requirements, but they're going to be for smaller houses as opposed to larger houses.
Right. And, we've laughed on here and said we would never live in a place with an HOA. They do have an HOA because they have to take care of the thing, and they don't want you to have chickens on your property because this is not that kind of place.
Right.
This is, you can have dogs and cats and whatever.
This is not for homesteading. This
is for people who want to live more of a lake lifestyle.
Right. Who want to fish or
right.
boat.
And so I printed out the information about it just so I'd have it for this, but it's near Ellijay, which is a very popular town.
Ellijay,
from us.
when I was a kid, the only thing they did in Ellijay was apples. And that was it. People went up for the apple harvest, but now they have breweries and it's amazing.
Vineyards, breweries, and then of course there's trailheads there. You're also right near a lake. It's called Carter's Lake. So about a mile from the development is the place where you can put your boat in and go boating, canoeing, whatever. There's a lot of wilderness areas out there.
Kayaking.
Yep. If you like. There's no real ski resorts nearby, but you can get to them, North Carolina.
Might be not too far to Boone. We'd have to check that.
It's 2 hours to anything. Sapphire Valley, Cloudmont, and Cataloochee.
Oh, okay.
2 hours to any one of those. But,
Cataloochee.
So many of the things that they have on here are things that our folks have looked for.
Right.
So I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail about it, but if you're interested, by the way, if any of you are interested in barndominiums, because a lot of our folks are kind of into that kind of barndominium, they do allow barndominiums there too. So that's another big thing. I do have contact information. We'll put it. I'll probably just put it up here on the screen.
Sure. As we're talking, you can just say her name and
but the
phone
grand
number.
opening is this weekend, which is September 18.
Right.
And is that right?
19, something like that.
I think Saturday's the 18th. Saturday, September 18th.
Okay, good.
Is the opening, and you have to make appointments. So Pam Fricker is the person. I will put her information and her phone number here on the screen, so you can call Pam and set up an appointment. But just tell him that Beth Smith said to call, and I hope you'll get treated with a white glove experience.
I hope so. Yeah, that would be nice.
But we're excited to be able to present that to you because it's hard to find places that have amenities. And not everybody wants that. A lot of people want 3 acres out in the middle of nowhere. That's okay too. But there are others that want vineyards and craft beer and cute shops and a place to go to church. The nice thing, of course, that I mentioned earlier is financing. So many people have difficulty finding land finance. Of course, you have to have decent credit and whatever, but I think there's a lot of reasons that I'm taking time on our podcast to talk about this. And as I can find more of these, I will, because I think it's this first step, getting land.
Right.
Can be really hard.
And I'm sure they do the same type of thing at like the Lake of the Ozarks or
Oh, I'm sure.
Other places around the country
that were small enough.
We wouldn't get them because we live here. So they're not going to market to us from.
Yeah, but I've seen them and called other ones and like, what's your square footage? 1,200 square feet, which is, that's not a huge house, but for what we're trying to do, that's a pretty big house. So, what my hope is that the product that we're able to create will end up somewhere up here if all the stars align, and we can then show you guys, a house or two that's nearby, and maybe in one of this development.
Well, we're going to be able to show them a house or two once the.
Well, we're making a prototype,
right?
And it should be up in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm hoping. They're doing a lot of stuff at the manufacturing facility in order to accommodate that. So they're retooling some things and really going above and beyond to get it ready so we can have a great product and availability.
Right.
Right? Because, right now everybody's 6, 12, 18 months out because everybody's building as fast as they can. So
right.
This guy's retooling is basically his factory for me.
Yes, he is. That's right.
I quoted Samuel Jackson from Jurassic Park today. Remember he says, "Hold on to your butt."
Oh yes, yeah.
That's what we were texting back and forth. But anyway,
I
think a lot of people want what we're trying to put together.
I think people would love what we're trying to put together. It's unique, I think, and it's cool, and it meets a need in the marketplace. When the TR-1600 went away, that left a lot of people hanging and going, what do I find now? I can't live in a drag and drop. It's not big enough.
Or ready
removable because it's either not big enough or my county won't allow it, or there's lots of issues with that. And it doesn't make any sense in my opinion, to put a mobile home on your property.
No,
because it's just going to decrease in value.
Even these park models, they just depreciate
and
radically.
There are a lot of nice mobile homes out there. Beth and I actually, before we started building our house, looked at.
We did, and we're like, wow, this is really nice, but the depreciation on them is terrible.
Yeah, so we decided to go with a Tuff Shed and build it to code and have that be our house, and it's not depreciating.
No, it's appreciating.
Yep, which is good, but not from a tax standpoint.
Well, that's fine. I don't mind paying the taxes, but as my investment continues to appreciate.
Yes.
But the city is moving toward us, and so yeah, there's that. Anyway, that's pretty much what we have. As soon as we know more about our Tuff Shed replacement, we'll certainly post on that. Again, that's in a couple of weeks. And I think I just got a text that says our daughter's coming home from the hospital.
Oh, I haven't. My phone is on.
I'm cheating and looking.
Oh,
yeah, she's coming home from the hospital, so that's exciting.
All right, that is exciting. That's good news.
All right.
All right. So, are we done?
I think
that's it for the day. For today, we will be back on a regular basis.
Yeah, we will. It's just hard right now, but we will.
We will. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can find us at Radio Tiny House on YouTube and wherever podcasts are podcasting. You can find us, if you want to email us, you can email us at radiotinyhouse@gmail.com. If you're watching us, you've already found us on YouTube. If you're a member of our group on Facebook, you've already found us. That's Tiny Houses Shed Homes. I think I've covered everything.
Well, yeah, but just because he kind of went by that fast. We are, if you're a Facebooker and want to join our group, it's Tiny Houses Shed Homes.
Shed Homes, yes. All right, thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and we will see you, if you haven't done that already, of course. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.